What's going to happen to home prices in 2023? Many people believe that home prices are going to take a massive decline, and they state, well, because of higher inflation and higher interest rates. And that makes a lot of sense. But there's one person who doesn't believe that's the case, and that's the National Association Realtors chief economist, Lawrence Yun. Now, you may have seen this meme floating around the internet, Facebook, the last couple of weeks. And let me tell you about this. This is actually very dangerous. And why is this dangerous? Because it's just not even close to being accurate. So let's talk about this. Is why I know when people share this, they're trying to be very helpful, but actually it's dangerous because it's wrong. None of this is actually accurate. First, let's talk about what you see here 6 months ago, where people are saying that, okay, you have your purchase price and then everything was bid up. Okay, very true, understand that. But the problem is, when they run the mortgage payment here, it's nowhere near accurate. The mortgage payment on that is actually $2,280. Okay, well that's great. It's actually lower than what this is showing here. Maybe they're factoring tax insurance, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's wrong. But then here's the bigger problem today. And what they're trying to show is that, okay, well, purchase price the same, but instead of being bid up, it's being bid down, or because prices are dropping. Well, one, in most areas in the country, prices are not dropping that much. Two is that today's prices are not staying at the price that they are at 6 months ago where they're listed. They're actually being listed at the higher amount on there. But here's the bigger problem. The payment on here is showing the payment on here. The payment is not that. The payment for that is $2,417. So even though this has a lower loan amount on here with a higher interest rate, the payment is still $140 higher than this. Now, for any loan officers that are sharing this, they need to do through some continuing education on here or do some mortgage calculator because it's completely wrong. But just know, realtors, when you're sharing this with your buyers or you see things like this floating around, make sure you do the math on here. Make sure it all checks out because this is doing more harm for buyers than good because simply it's just not factual information.
Okay, this week's opportunities. VA, FHA, assuming these loans. Is it possible? Yes, but things aren't always quite what they seem to be. Let's talk about it for a second. So, VA eligibility, still used. Having the money to absorb the difference needs to be done. They make it seem easy, but it's not always the case. Let's look at every situation and find out actually what the best options are.
What's going to happen to home prices in 2023? Many people believe that home prices are going to take a massive decline, and they state, well, because of higher inflation and higher interest rates. And that makes a lot of sense. But there's one person who doesn't believe that's the case, and that's the National Association Realtors chief economist, Lawrence Yun. Lawrence believes that the value of homes will actually slightly increase in 2023. Now, in some markets, you'll see a decrease, in other markets, an increase, but overall, you see a slight increase. The reason for that? Well, the law of supply and demand. With the higher interest rates, we still have a very limited and low supply of homes on the market. And since there's a low supply of homes on the market, even though there are fewer buyers, they have less to choose from, which is going to keep those costs up. Why are people not listing their homes? It's because of the higher interest rates. Many of those people that would think about selling their houses have very low interest rates, and they don't want to sell their house in order to have a much higher interest rate. So that makes sense, is that we might actually see a slight increase of prices in 2023. Now, when it comes to 2024, Lawrence also believes that we're going to see a nice strong rebound. We're going to see an increase of purchases, and we're going to see an increase of values. So for all of your borrowers out there that are contemplating buying a house, thinking we're going to see a massive drop off, well, the chief economist over NAR is going to believe we're actually going to see this prices hold steady and even slightly increase in different areas of the country.
How much do rates actually affect mortgage payment? Well, it depends. On a $300,000 loan, 3% interest, you're looking about $1,265 a month. 4% interest, $1,432. 5% interest, well, about $1,610. It's getting a little higher. 6% interest, $1,799. And 7% interest, well, it jumps up to about $1,996. That's over a $700 difference between those different interest rates. So, hey, real estate's a great investment, but rate does matter.